Hey everyone, I hope everyone are doing great. Myself Dinakar from Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Computer Science Department. My topic is about Introduction to Database System. Moving on to the next slide. In this slide, we're going to learn about the agenda of DBMS. What is data? Then types of data and structured data and understand data. How do we store data in computers? File system versus data system. File system issues and what is management and what is database. Further, we're going to learn about this. In this slide, we're going to learn about what is data. From dictionary, we get to know about factor information such as measurements or statistics used as basic for reasoning, discussion or calculation. From Wikipedia, we get to know that data are characteristics, usually numericals, that are collected through observation in more technical sense. Data is a set of values of quantitative or quantitative variable about one or more person or objects, while a datum singular of data is a single value of a single variable. Examples like name, address, zip files, SSN are a characteristics of information about a person. Then moving on to the next slide. In this slide, we're going to learn about types of data. Unstructured data and structured information. Encrypted data type supplied with symmetrics. Moving on to the next slide. In this slide, we get to know about structured and unstructured data. Structured data is most often characterized as quantitative data, and it is type of data most of us are used to work with. Think of data that fits neatly within fixed files and columns in relational data and spreadsheet. Example of structured data include names, datas, addresses, credit card numbers, stock information, geolocation, and more. Unstructured data is most often characterized as quantitative data and it cannot be processed and analyzed using conventional tools and methods. Example of unstructured data include text, video, mobile activities, social media activities, satellite imagery, the list goes on and goes on. Unstructured data is difficult to deconstruct because it has no predefined model, meaning it cannot be organized in relational database. Instead, non-relational or no SQL database are the best fit for managing unstructured data. Moving on to the next slide. In this, we're going to learn about how do we store data in computers. Data could be stored computers in file system and our database management and our content management system. Let us focus on file system and database approaches. Each one has its own advantages and disadvantages. Moving on to the next slide. In this slide, we're going to learn about file system versus data system. File system software that manages the data files in a computer system. In database system, software to create and manage databases. In file system helps to store and collection of raw data files into the hard disk. In data system helps to easily store, retrieve and manipulate data in a database. In file system, tasks such as storing, retrieving and searching are done manually, so it is difficult to manage data. In data system, operations such as updating, searching, search data is easy since it allows using SQL queries. Moving on to the next slide. In file system, data backup and recovery process is not efficient because it is not possible to recover the lost data. In database system has sympathetic backup and recovery. In file system appropriate to handle data of small scale organization or individual users. In database system suitable for medium to large organization or multiple user. Handling is easy and handle is complex. Example for file system and NTFS and EXT. Example for database system MySQL, MySQL and DB2 Oracle. Moving on to the next slide. In this, we're gonna learn about file system issues. First one, redundancy of data. Second one, inconsistency of data. Third one, difficult data access and unauthorized access and no current access and no backup and recovery. In redundancy of data, data is said to be redundant in same data is copied at many phases. If a student wants to change the phone number, he has to get its updates as various sections. Similarly, on records must be deleted from all sections representing the date student. Introduction of data. Data is said to be inconsistent if manipulate copies of same data does not match with each other. If phone number is different in account section and academic section, it will be inconsistent. Inconsistency may be because of typing error or not updating all copies of same data. Unauthorized access. File system may be lead to unauthorized access data. If a student gets access to file has his marks, he can change it unauthorized way. No backup and recovery. A file system does not incorporate any backup and recovery of data if file is lost and corrupted. What is management? Generally, management refers creating, retrieving, update, and delete. For an example, money management refers earning the money, acquiring money, distributing the money, and spend the money. Moving to the next slide. What is database? Database is a collection of interrelated data which helps in efficient retrieval, instruction, and detection of data from database and organizing the data in the form of table, views, schemes, reports, etc. For example, universal database organizes the data about student, faculties, and admission staff, etc., which helps in efficient retrieval, insertion of detection of data from it. Now, database management talks about creating database, retrieving database, update database, and delete database. Moving on to the next slide. What is database? Database management system, the software which is used to manage database is called database management system. For example, MySQL, Oracle, etc. For popular commercial DBMS is used in different application. DBMS allows user the following task. Data definition. It helps in creating, modifying, and removal of definitions that define the organization of data in database. Data adaptation. It helps in insertion, modification, and detection of the actual data in the database. Data retrieval. It helps in retrieval of data from database which can be used by applications for various purposes. User admission. It helps in registering and monitoring using enforcing data sections, monitoring performance, maintaining data integrity, dealing with concurrency, content recovery, information corrupted by unexpected failure. Moving to the next slide. Database languages. A database system provides a data definition languages to specify the data schemes and data manipulation language to express data queries and updates its practice. The data definition and data multiplication language are not two separated languages. Instead, they are simply form parts of a single database language such as the widely used SQL language. Moving to the next slide, data definition language. We specify a database scheme by a set of definition explained by special language called data definition language. For instance, the following statement in SQL language defines the account table, creating the account table. Execution of data execution of the above DDL statement creates the account table. In addition, it updates a special set of table called data dictionary or data directory. A data directory contains metadata, that is data about the data schemes of the table. In an example of metadata, a data system consists of data dictionary before reading of modifying the actual data. Moving on to the next slide, data manipulating languages. It is also called as DML. Data manipulation is the retrieval of information stored in database, the insertion of new information into the database, the detection of information from the database, then the modification of information stored in the database. Then data manipulation data is a language that enables use to access or manipulate data or organized by the approach data model. There are basically two types. One is pro- procedural DMLS, requires a law specify what data are needed and how to get those data. Declarative DMLS retrieves a user specify what data are needed without specifying how to get the lost data. Moving on to the next slide. This is my end of the presentation. I hope everyone understood. Please do like and share and subscribe. Thank you.